Obviously disappointed with the result, but couldn't be prouder of our team and the fight and the effort and the grittiness and the toughness, the competitive fire that they played with today. I think they showed why they were 32 and 2 coming into this game. And, they were tough. Baylor's a good team, but we're a good team also. So drawing that 13 seed and having to play them in front of their home crowd made it even a tougher game. But we held with them for 40 minutes.
All right. Any questions for our players?
Skylar Dixon with the AP. Trinity, you looked a little antsy there late in the first half to get back in when it seemed pretty clear that Coach Miller was just going to wait for the second half and not risk the third foul. What were you thinking at halftime? What was your mentality about coming out and trying to sort of put your stamp on this game?
I would say I was pretty poised. I was on the bike. I saw the flow of the game. I saw we were still in it and that we had a chance to kind of make a comeback. And I knew going into the second half that was going to be our time as a team collectively, especially with Tiara sitting out with 2, Laura sitting out with 2, me sitting out with 2, kind of our big 3, if you will, sitting out with 2. So when we got to that second half and we know we could play, we kind of just did our best.
All right. Forrest?
Foster Nicholas, Baylor Lariat. For either of you guys, what was working in the first half to keep it within 3 and have a lead for most of that first half?
I'd say just ball movement. I think even when 3 of the starters were out in the first half, the second group came in, they did exactly what they needed to do by moving the ball and getting wide open shots.
All right.
Also for both of you, it's kind of a unique combination of a 30-game winning streak, but a first NCAA appearance. What's your takeaway from your first opportunity in this setting?
My biggest takeaway is, it's called March Madness for a reason. Kind of got to believe in the madness. And at the end of the day, it's basketball, no matter who you play, no matter where you are. So just playing basketball at the end of the day because that's why we're all here.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and let the players go back to the locker room. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I take this?
You sure can.
That's another one.
All right.
Just to confirm, Molly, you were thinking, I don't want to risk a third foul in the first half. I'm just going to wait for the second half for Trinity and just kind of let her sort of be our best chance to stay in the game and win the game?
Well, if the lead was manageable, I think I was ready to put her back in if it got a little out of control. But we were fine, down 4, down 5, going into halftime. So we thought, protect her as long as it's close. And then, that's hard when you lose your offensive player of the year or your defensive player of the year and then your player of the year. It's foul trouble. They shot 31 free throws. It's hard to win a game when you shoot 17 to their 31. So, yeah, and especially our key pieces were in foul trouble in that early stint. But we weathered that storm. I was really proud of those reserves that came in, gave it their all. They were battling too, and the gap didn't widen. So we felt good going in the second half.
All right. Forrest?
Foster Nicholas, Baylor Lariat. You mentioned that stretch. There was a 5-minute stretch with the reserves in where Baylor is scoreless. What can you say about the toughness of this team and being able to prove yourself on this stage?
They're special. Groups like this are very unique. They don't come along very often. And I told them in the locker room, this is for life. I've got their backs for life. They're incredible human beings. They've inspired me. They've taught me a lot. They've loved on my kids, our assistant kids, like they're family. And to see them go out there and compete like that, it's what it's all about. And I couldn't have been prouder in that moment, just to see all 14 really come together, rally around one another, and just show what GCU basketball, that brand, is all about.
All right.
Baylor did seem to put some focus on getting the ball inside. They had a size advantage. I'm sure you sensed that going in. What was the plan, and how do you think you all kind of held up against that?
Yeah, well, we didn't get beat on much besides the perimeter game with Von Lay getting some deep catches, but that's tough to guard. We tried to double some, pick and roll. We tried to hedge and tag and go back nose to nose, if you will, and then she's just hard to handle. But I thought for the most part, our defense was phenomenal. Out there, we were flying around, we were scrapping. I thought their pick and roll would be a little bit more potent than it was, but I think our team did a really good job of stopping the two-man game. But Vonleh's a really, really good player, and we didn't have a great answer. But Laura, KJ, Bridget, when she got in there, they sure worked their tail off.
All right. Any other questions from the room? Did you have a question? Do we have any other questions on Zoom? There's one. I don't see it. Can you play it for me? I can't see it.
Hi, it's Richard Obert of the Arizona Republic. I don't know if you can hear me. I know, Molly, it's not ever a good time at this point when you lose the game to talk about your future, but is there anything you can say now, or is it too early yet?
No, I'm here with my team, enjoying it, soaking up this moment, making core memories that'll last a lifetime.
Thank you.
Did you have another question? Ellen? Do we have any other questions on Zoom? We have one from Richard Obert. Let me unmute you.
I just asked a question. I think Jordan Hammond has a question though.
Okay, Jordan, go ahead.
Hey Molly, Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. How did this group in particular change you as a coach?
Oh, wow. What a great question, because I think the evolution of my coaching career really took a trajectory upward when I was able to kind of invite them in a little bit closer, develop deeper relationships. I loved these kids. I loved coaching these kids. I loved watching them grow. I loved putting my arms around them. When I became a mom, I became a better coach. But after I coached this team, I became a better coach. So I have a lot of gratitude and a thankful heart for this group.
All right, do we have any more questions from Zoom? I don't see any. Do we have any more questions from the room? No? All right. I think we're done. Thank you so much,
Thank
Coach.
you.